The Indiana Fever's story this season has been nothing short of a roller coaster. A team once plagued by inconsistency and injury has clawed its way back into relevance, and their most recent clash against the Minnesota Lynx became more than just another game. It was a symbol of everything this franchise has endured and everything it's becoming. The Fever didn't just beat one of the league's top teams. They stamped their identity on the season, proving that resilience, grit, and redemption can be just as powerful as star power. It all started with chaos. Nearly half of Indiana's rotation was stripped away in the span of a few brutal weeks. Caitlin Clark's groin injury, once labeled nagging, shut her down for the season. Sophie Cunningham's MCL tear, Sydney Colson's ACL tear, Khloe BBY's knee, Aari McDonald's fractured foot. The list piled higher and higher until the Fever's roster looked like it had been gutted. By any logic, this team should have folded. A season meant to showcase Clark's rookie brilliance seemed destined to sputter into disappointment. But instead of quitting, the Fever chose a different path. Kelsey Mitchell became the heartbeat, carrying the ball-handling duties, staring down double teams, and still averaging over 20 points per game. She turned into the franchise's most productive scorer in history. Every night she played like she had something to prove. And alongside her, Aaliyah Boston became the anchor in the paint. 15 points and 8 rebounds a night across the final stretch of the season. Steady, reliable, unshakable. While opponents thought the Fever would collapse, Mitchell and Boston refused to let go of the rope. That leadership ignited the rest of the roster. Players signed on hardship deals suddenly became critical contributors. Bench players turned into nightly difference makers. Odyssey Sims dropped 15 points against the Lynx, proving she still belonged at this level. Aerial Powers hit back-to-back threes when Minnesota threatened to rally, delivering the gut punch that secured the win. This wasn't a fluke. It was a team reshaping itself in real time. By the time they faced the Lynx in the season finale, Indiana wasn't just hanging on. They were charging into the playoffs with momentum. A 10-0 run to start the game set the tone. By halftime, they had built a double-digit lead and never once looked shaky about losing it. Minnesota, one of the league's standard-bearers, looked rattled. Cold shooting, wasted possessions, and only 2 made threes in 20 attempts. All of it fueled the Fever's confidence. By the time the final buzzer sounded, Indiana had secured its 3rd straight win, an 83-72 victory, and its first winning record since 2015. But beyond the box score, beyond the playoff implications, one moment defined the night. A moment that wasn't just about the team but about redemption. That moment belonged to Lexie Hull. Weeks earlier she had been humiliated. Kayla McBride's elbow smashed into her face, leaving her bloodied, dazed, and confused. And in one of the most baffling officiating decisions of the year, the refs called the foul on Hull instead of McBride. Fans were outraged, commentators stunned. Indiana didn't just lose a possession that night. They lost respect. Hull became the symbol of what so many Fever fans felt, that this team never seemed to get a fair shake. So when the Fever lined up against Minnesota again, everyone knew what was at stake. This wasn't just another game. For Hull it was personal. For Indiana fans it was a chance for justice. It came in the second quarter. McBride guarding Hull at the top of the key, one dribble to the left, a hesitation, and then the crossover. McBride stumbled, her balance gone, her ankles folding as Hull blew by her. The crowd erupted. Teammates jumped off the bench. Within seconds the clip was viral. Indiana fans called it karma. Neutral fans called it hilarious. But for Hull it was redemption. She had taken the worst moment of her season and flipped it into her highlight of the year. That play was more than just a crossover. It was the Fever's entire season in a single snapshot. Written off, underestimated, beaten down, and yet finding a way to stand back up and deliver when it mattered most. Lexie Hull didn't just drop Kayla McBride. She dropped the weight of that previous humiliation and turned it into fire. She gave Indiana fans the catharsis they'd been waiting for. And that's what made this victory feel so monumental. The Fever weren't just a team limping into the postseason without their brightest star. They were a team with an identity, forged through adversity, anchored by Mitchell and Boston, fueled by role players who refused to quit, and defined by moments like Hull's crossover. They proved they belonged, and they did it in a way that fans will remember long after the season ends. Caitlin Clark may have been sidelined, but even from the bench her presence mattered. Cameras caught her signaling plays, calling out coverages, even acting like an assistant coach. She was engaged, she was leading, and she was still the heartbeat of the franchise, even in street clothes. It reminded everyone that the Fever's future is still incredibly bright. This playoff push is just the beginning. The Fever now step into the postseason not as underdogs just happy to be there, but as a team carrying real momentum, real belief, and a fan base that has been reinvigorated. Their first winning season in nearly a decade isn't just about numbers. It's about culture, resilience, and a franchise finally finding its way back into the spotlight. And at the center of it all is a crossover. A single play that symbolized redemption, grit, and the heart of Indiana basketball. Lexie Hull's moment against Kayla McBride wasn't just payback. It was proof that this team, no matter the odds, refuses to back down. Indiana Fever 83. Minnesota Lynx 72. A winning season. A playoff berth. And a highlight that fans will never forget. So now the question is yours. Was this just a spark or the start of something much bigger? Can the Fever ride this wave of resilience deep into the playoffs, even without Caitlin Clark on the floor? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next chapter in this incredible journey.